I've made a mistake. I need to make sure I have the right window open, so I can see chat when I need to. And now we're alive. Now to remember what we were doing today, which was more cube. More delicious cube. Oh yes, we're doing the new ad break things today. 3 minutes every hour rather than 1.5 minutes every 30 minutes. So it should be less interruptions. I mean, the same amount of interruptions, but less frequently. So I'll wait until that advert is done and over before we start messing around. It feels weird having a 3 minute ad. It makes sense. Get them out of the way so that we can have uninterrupted complete madness and chaos for an hour. But it still feels weird. Minute and a half left, give or take, of the ads, and then we can actually do something. I'm thinking pretty much similar to what we did last time. Mess around with some shapes, and then at the end of it, see if we can't figure out something to do with them. Although the question is what shapes. I know I've called it Cubesday. So, you know, we could do cube. Cube. Oh, and I do believe that is the ads apparently over. I think that means it's time for us to actually do something. Right. So let's think. The other day we had been doing the whole. Oh, that I forgot. I have been working on something else. Let's go back down to a reasonable size brush. Yeah, the other day we had been like doing our rotation exercises. Yeah, getting into the hang of it. Again, I really need to do the cylinders more. The cylinders, I have a hard time. It's not so much the cylinders; it's the ovals at the end. They always look a little bit janky. I know that Drawbox has the whole thing of going over it before you do the oval. Ghost it like 4 or 5 times. Drawbox has this with every line for whilst you're learning. So for every one of these boxes, if we're going by the Drawbox rules, rather than just going boom, you would like have your pen over your screen or over your pad, and you just move it as though you were going to say your dot was here and your dot was there, and you're trying to connect them. You would ghost over it so that your arm got more mileage before you finally actually made that final stroke. I think the whole thing with lines is the way to get better is just do them. But don't just like do them like willy nilly. You kind of got to put a bit of thought into them, so you're consciously choosing. I want a line to go from here to here. You do the motions. You make sure your arm muscles actually do the thing you're telling them to do until you just go zoop. And this is the point where it's sometimes easier to rotate. Some arm motions are easier than others. For example, going up and down is a bit more awkward than going from side to side. At least it is for me, mainly because of how I'm sitting. Yeah, if I had a bigger screen that was like up on an arm, like one of those cool art people, the ones that get paid for this, then probably have more range of movement on my arm. as is, I don't have that. So I tend to find that doing downward lines is more of a pain, which is why I have it hotkeyed so I can rotate the canvas quite easily. So it's rather than doing that, I can go, let's move it down to here. We do the ghost and then boom, nice and easy line. Nice and easy line. Actually, one of the first set of shortcuts I actually set up for Clip Studio when I got it a few years ago. 1 and 2 do the zoom in and zoom out. Zoom in and zoom out. 3 and 4 do the rotate. And 5 and 6 sort of flip the canvas. Although they do it the stupid way. They actually do the transform rather than... I think there is somewhere where you can actually just like, yeah, flip the canvas. Which that's what I should bind it to, really. And I also have 6 to do the vertical. But I'm going to quickly try and do that now while I'm thinking about it. Shortcut settings. Tools. Oh, what would it be under? Move? No. Operation, maybe? No. Options, edit, maybe? Nope, that's just cut and paste. Canvas. View. Ah, that's not helpful at all. I just realised because of the nature of how Clip Studio has its pop-ups, you can't see the screen I'm on now. It really isn't helpful. I know that somewhere... I suppose the only thing I can do is set up an auto action for it. Oh, wait, no, have I... Is it under here? Is it under here? I think it might be... That's transform, align... Aha! Flip canvas. So flip horizontal, edit shortcut. Make that number 5, please. Yes, delete the current shortcut because we're essentially doing the same shortcut, but with less effort. Okay, now we can go... Oh, I pressed the button and now Clip Studio is thinking about things. Okay, there we go. It doesn't like us doing it quickly, but it's also saving the recovery information right now. But there we go. We can now do it nice and easily, nice and quickly. Very much not useful for what we're doing right now. But something I found is like, let's say, you know, you've got a massively large face like this and you want to double check to make sure it looks sensible. It's way too big a file. It's not liking us do that. It's very much not liking us do that with a file that big. It's mainly when you've been working on one thing from one direction. So let's say you've been doing a figure drawing, being able to flip it horizontally and vertically, it can help you pick up errors. You might think, oh my god, this face that I'm drawing looks amazing. It's perfect because you've been staring at it for an hour. But as soon as you flip it horizontally, you realize you've misaligned the eye quite badly, but you didn't notice because you'd been staring at the same image for the past hour. Right. Let's get our cubes done. Because it doing it more methodically like that looks a lot nicer and a lot neater than just slapping the lines down like we did with the first couple. And another helpful tip, this one again, I think I picked up from Drawbox. If you want to find the center of one of these faces, draw across. And there's the center. It's surprisingly simple. Very helpful if you want to turn this into a little house. Or something silly. Or you need to know, the exact part, like halfway down here and halfway down here. Because you want to put... Let's say we're doing the thing that we're going to be doing later and we're trying to put like a cut in. It can make it a lot easier to work out where that cut that you want to put is. And another thing I need to remember as well, with cylinders, I mean, I think I mentioned this the last time I did it. The thing I find hard is getting the cylinder the right shape for the perspective. Which again is helpful if you've been doing cubes. Let's say we did a cube and this, our cylinder is there. I know that it's not quite perfect for the oval, but I'm still getting used to this. What you can do is do the box perspective. And then after realizing we're still working on the wrong layer like we always do, because we smart. Hang on. You haven't reset that, have you? You've not reset my eyedropper. I oh no. Oh, that's a pain. Right, back to my pen tablet settings. Try and remember what I actually used to use. Yeah, it was right click. Edit shortcut. Oh no. That's not good. I need to find another. Um, right, what key do we want to do? Shortcut. Oh no, 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 we don't want to do that. We want to just do semicolon, please. Oh, oh, okay, that was okay, and that's stopped working. That is really frustrating. That was like my most used shortcut was the eyedropper tool. Why have you suddenly decided to change how you're working, Clip Studio? Oh, and Clip Studio's having a fit in the background as well now. Right, shortcut. I. Okay. 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 Oh, okay. That's why it's changed it on the wrong freaking button. Sometimes I love technology. And sometimes technology makes me want to scream. And now why are you being a pain? Okay, you win. You win. Clip Studio. I will do this later when I'm off stream because this is frustrating me and I don't want to scream for the viewers. Right, let's go back to the sort of the cutting up of shapes. Hey, Cookie. Let's say we've got okay, that's not what I was planning on doing, but right, let's say that's where the cut is going to be. Oh, that's horrible. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that one. I hate circles. Let's do ourselves a nice box. Boxes we can cope with. And I'll take the hydrate. And the CP sip. Let's give it some fun perspective. Are you jealous of me, Cookie, with the fact that I have my Liebkuchen and I've also had some Stollen today? The fact that I can't eye drop with my clicky button is really, really annoying. So we have our box. How do we want to cut this thing up? Do we do a classic cutting off the corners? This is the point where we remember that we have to filling the back layer that we cut out of. Since we were silly and forgot to do it. Hey, Sheepa. This is my art playlist. This is because I love the fucking soundtrack to this game was the entire reason the game was good. The gameplay was shit, but the music, damn. Have you begun the fun trip into learning how to use DaVinci? DaVinci Studio, which is my is where I edit my memes. Edit the memes I mostly just send to Chubb on her You Laugh You Lose streams to try and destroy her. And I did it on Sunday. I finally got her with one of her own burps. It was a glorious edit, and I'm glad I did it. And I made sure to clip the fact that I got her so she can't escape me. Yeah, I think one of the bits about it, the reason I haven't ever edited any of my VODs is knowing what to cut out. Yeah, knowing the kind of thing that people are there for. You know, why do people watch me, for a start? I don't know. And I mean, some bits I can understand, like if it's tangents or Finn went off the piss or something, and you're all just sitting there doing nothing. That's an easy thing to understand. You can if there's no like comedy going on during it, it's easy enough to edit that out and just go zoop, it's gone. But half the time with my streams and my VODs, it's all just me talking. So what am I going to cut out? I think the only time I'm ever going to like edit things is if I'm doing like specific content rather than doing VODs and just editing VODs. Is if I was say rather than streaming one of these like silly let's go through some fundamental stuff with art, I wanted to do as an actual video. First of all, I would have a script because I'm not good with off the cuff, if anyone hadn't noticed. I tend to repeat myself, which can frustrate people, me included, especially when I'm the one repeating things. But I'd probably like, if I was going to do it, I would have a thing in my head of how I wanted to lay it out first, like, you know, in the first chunk, we're explaining the process. In the second chunk, we're doing the exercise. In the third chunk, we're showing the reason why we do it. Or in the case of these, like, the first step, we do the weird rotationy boxy things and the basics, and then we move on to cutting things up. And then on the last bit, we do the, you know, let's take a box and then let's really make it look a little bit weird. Let's distort the box. Let's mess around with the box. But yeah, I am not quite in my journey as a content creator where I'm really confident actually sitting down and doing editing for stuff that isn't shit posting, which is really the only. To be fair, it's the reason I started learning to edit was so I could do my own stuff eventually. But for now, I'm practicing with the shit posts. Ugh, that's a horrible shape. We'll never talk about that shape again. Yeah, this is another one I like from Drawbox. Is organic shape. Just draw an organic shape and then try and like give it some kind of contour lines, make it three-dimensional. And then realize that with a small bit of imagination, you've just started working on a piece of furry art. Because see, you can just draw some eyes here. And a nose. Ha ha ha! You thought it was perverted, but no, it is in fact. It is in fact a doggo. Again, that's a really helpful thing for it. Like, if you actually want to do like cartooning, which is technically its own thing compared to normal like drawing, then these sorts of organic shapes are wonderful. Especially, you know, if you like draw yourself like a weird thing like this, you can turn that into a body for a cartoon. The whole shape language thing comes into effect there, where you like start messing around with like, as I mentioned last time, you know, what kind of character does that body shape have compared to that kind of body shape? And if anyone has any, you know, doubt as to why I'm doing these, is it's to force myself to do these fundamentals because I sure as hell ain't doing these when I'm not on stream. I might do a couple of them, then get bored and go and play a game. But at least while I'm here, I can at least pretend I have some kind of the word I'm after. accountability. And it also helps as well, I think, because at the same time as doing it, I'm trying to explain it in my really bad way of explaining these things, because obviously I am still a complete novice compared to the people that have put these exercises together. Let's see if we can sort of mix some of these exercises up. So rather than doing the cutting out of the really basic shapes, can we do the same thing for one of these? I mean, the easy one would be just to, like, take a corner off. Or the same down here. Hmm. But I know that one of the other draw box things was the intersecting. So draw a box. Draw your intersecting item. And try and, like, work out how it would work. If this was the case, we'd have I mean, obviously it's not perfect. I don't think I've done this exercise for a couple of years. But when I was actually going through Drawbox, so one of the whole purposes of this is to get comfortable messing with the shapes. Because if you can take a basic shape and cut it into the kind of piece that you need for what you are trying to do, you're fine. Everything is essentially made up from either a line, a circle, a cylinder, or a cube. Distorted or cut away or whatever. Yeah, if you want, yeah, you just, like, take the end bit, boom, you've got a claw or a horn or whatever you want to have that's a tapered shape. So if you can, and I say you, I'm also using the royal you as in me as well. If we can get used to taking these basic shapes and screwing around with them enough. I mean, when you think about this, all this is just like a weird cylinder going from here to here that's been distorted with another cylinder that's just been distorted attached to the side. But looking at it, it doesn't look like a cylinder, but that's what the base shape would have been. And I really should have come in with this with more of a plan of like what I was gonna do. But I was messing around with Subnautica earlier, trying to catch us a little bit up to where we were in the old save. Going around, finding some of the things that we'd scanned in the other game. Like that second island we'd not done yet, so I went and redid that so we didn't have to mess around doing that on stream. But because I'd done that, I was kind of not really feeling like playing more Subnautica for 2 hours. Let's back bit would be here. So this would be a prime bit that I'd have to either re-record something to go over the top of, or cut out entirely because of the dead air. But right now, what I'm trying to do, if it isn't plainly obvious, is trying to take the weird stuff that we've been learning and doing something with it. Because as I mentioned last time, it's all well and good doing tutorials. Like, you can follow to the letter the tutorial on Drawbox of how to do this shape. And if you just do that, you're not going to learn anything at all. And like I mentioned in the last stream of this we did, one of the things I found useful that I need to do more of is we take the exercise of taking a shape, cutting into it to make a different shape, and then we try and incorporate it into something that might be useful to draw at some point. Like, for example, a set of bookshelves. And I know my line quality is not perfect, but do you know what? It doesn't have to be. As long as I'm getting at least the proportions right, trying to get the perspective right, whilst actually doing the exercise. Yeah, we've taken a cube and we're cutting out individual cubes into this. We could have this as a bookshelf. We could have this as a tray that's got molds in. So let's say you're doing some kind of piece of art that requires a blacksmith to have a mold for some ingots, or whatever you want to call them. They might have a thing that has, again, maybe not exactly, rectangular, oblong shapes. It's probably more like, this kind of a shape. Because that makes it easier to take the thing out of the mold. But principle's kind of the same. It would be you take a thing and you cut out the pieces. And all of this is just to get better at construction. And eventually, once you've done construction enough, once you've done all these things, especially more, it also makes more sense when you're doing construction for complicated things like, say, a person. Apparently, once you do it enough, it's kind of in your head. So rather than say, doing the usual, well, okay, let's take a sphere, let's cut it in half. We know that the first will be there, then we need to have kind of the same again down here, and we draw the bit that goes there. We know that the eyes would go sort of about here, and the hairline goes up here, and the mouth goes about here, and we've got to know. Rather than going through all of the thing of like measuring out the circles and everything, eventually, once you've done it enough, you will just know it, and you'll be able to just go, oh, okay, well, so, you'll just be able to just like draw the face shape, draw where the eyes should be, draw the hair. and not need the construction lines. Obviously, I can't draw faces. Not without a lot more work. You know, I need to actually put in effort for that. I can't do it quickly. But the principle's there. You know, that's the idea of it, is that understanding the shapes that it's made of and how to put it together, and then doing that enough, eventually you could just go straight in. You might like draw some basics. You know, a lot of the people you'll see on stream that are like drawing properly, they don't necessarily have a construction under drawing. They will just like go ahead with a sketch layer and say, you know, okay, so we've got a face, we've got, you know, a body, you know, torso, some hips. And then they're going to be in this kind of pose with like, you know, this, like this, blah. But it's because in their head, all of the construction stuff of how to turn that into an actual person, an actual drawing, is already stored in their head. So they can just take that and just move along with it, rather than, you know, schmucks like us having to go through it all and setting out the construction lines, you know, making sure that we know where the rib cage is, and okay, so we've got hips back down here, and so on. Eventually that comes as second nature. At some point, I haven't got there yet. When I find out and I get there, you will be the first to know. Maybe. Depends. If I remember to tell anyone. And if I do it long enough. I might be on my deathbed and suddenly be like, I finally did it! And then I'll just be gone. That'll be it. Hmm. Tweak that a little bit. Add in a cloven hoof. Double it up. Pair of legs. Granted, pair of legs for a very short, stubby goblin pig creature thing. I don't know, but again, more reason why sometimes just drawing random shapes can be helpful. You know, let's say if we add like the bits onto the top of here. Get rid of these really basic ones that were just there as a thing earlier, as a example earlier. But yeah, stubby little legs. Possibly of a postling if Ginger's around. God, have I really been babbling on about this for an hour? I have. But yeah, it's not been much today. But I did want to get like at least an hour of drawing in, even if it really was just say this has been like extremely fundamental stuff again. And has been mostly me babbling. But what else is new? That's kind of like what ends up happening when I don't have a game that I can talk about. I'm not, as much as people tell me I am, I'm not that good of a teacher, especially with art. Excel, I could teach you how to use Excel, but we're not doing that on a stream because that is a terrifying idea of me teaching people how to use Excel via a stream. Oh god, that would be a hilarious April Fool's Day stream. Like, welcome, we're gonna learn how to use Microsoft Excel. This is a VLOOKUP formula. Woohoo! Although to be fair, I probably would get at least a couple of viewers actually interested in that. Let's see. Since we would be almost near an ad, where's my Oh no, my button to snooze it has gone. The ad started before I could snooze. Curse you! I was going to try ending the stream before that started, but never mind. Of course, it won't let you snooze them when they're already going. What in the world? Introducing stories on Twitch. I mean, the people that aren't subbed to me right now are not paying attention to what I'm talking about because obviously they're watching some beautifully handcrafted ads that are trying to sell them things that no one actually wants. Unless it's food. But you don't need to advertise food to me. I understand that food exists and I want to eat it. But yeah, I'm seeing a thing that's introducing stories on Twitch. Partners and affiliates who have had at least one stream in the last 30 days can post stories through the new Twitch mobile app feature. Learn more in our blog. Are they trying to become Instagram again? I mean, I know they've been putting out a bunch of new features recently, some of which are really nice. Some of them, not so much. Oh, come on, ads. Get out of the way. Come on, go away. I want to be able to end my stream by talking rather than just disappearing so that people don't know what's going on when the ads are over. Because I want to shut my brain down for 30 minutes because I have also been rigging today and yesterday thinking about it. And I've been banging my head against the desk so much because I've forgotten so much of it since I did this current model. So to say how bad it's got, I've actually gone back to the OG Live 2D tutorials from Live 2D themselves about, how to do deformers, how to do art meshes, and all of these things. And so, oh, ads have actually finished now, thankfully. But yeah, I've been doing rigging the past couple of days, getting like the eye done, and then finishing it and going, oh my god, there's a glaring error in the fact that I didn't quite color that bit of the eye in properly, so there's a slight see-through bit. I'm like, ah. go back to Clip Studio, update it, export it, redo it, then notice another thing wrong. I've done that 5 times now, just for the one eye. Granted, when I've done it for one eye, I've also updated the other eye just to make sure. But boy, is it frustrating. But yeah, I am going to end the stream now. I mean, I'm a bit annoyed that I couldn't do it before that last set of ads, because now it makes me look horrible. It's like, ha, you've had some ads now, sod off. But that's not what I wanted. I wanted to stop before then, and I got sidetracked. But let's have a look. Who is on for raiding? Resting is on, and Fromage is on. Ooh, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Oh, that is tough. It is spooky time, so Resting is playing Dead by Daylight again. So let's send everyone over to Resting. And I'm gonna go and let my brain shut down for the day. But yeah, as always, thank you everyone for watching. I know this stream hasn't been exactly that entertaining unless you're trying to draw along and actually understand what I'm babbling about, but it's been helpful for me, and I hope to do more and actually get better at them. Actually become one of those people that knows what they're talking about when they're doing art streams, but we'll find out whether that ever happens. Until next time, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for hopefully either Harvest Island or Subnautica, depending on the moods. So, see you next time.